Just before the end of my PhD, I started a whole new research project with a new tracking arena, new experiments, and new analysis. And that's because I and Anna had always wanted to do this project, but the other chapters just always had precedence over that one. So I thought, now or never, and I started this project on the question of how ants search differently when they are walking on a rugged or a 3D surface instead of the flat paper that we always have in our lab experiments. Because the ants have to adapt somehow to it, and it's not really clear whether their movements become more squiggly from the bird's eye view or less squiggly, or whether they stay the same. And which one it is will tell us about what the ant tries to maximize or what her constraints are. So to test this, I had to make a new arena with a floor of different rugosities or ruggednesses.
I've been in Sedona, I don't got a phone. Honestly, I'd rather if I die alone. Do it really matter what a hater say? Higher that I go up, they just fade away. You could find me walking on the Ave any day.
Back from the 3D printing, it looks a bit rough, but if we removed all of these weird things the nozzle leaves when it detaches and goes somewhere else, then I think it would be really, really good. I should test this with some ants. Just drop them on, like that I find in my backyard, drop them on and see how they react.
Always see me smiling, but I'm hella overwhelmed. I'ma probably die single cause I need my fucking space.
Yeah, so this is tiny compared to the square meter that we needed. This is 5 centimeters. So I don't know whether I should invest more time into trying to make the model big enough so that we can have at least 20 by 20 centimeters, which have to make sure that they all align perfectly, or whether I should follow this route. Yep, that is Legos. I had the idea to maybe just go for Legos because this is a lot of effort and a lot of things could go wrong with that. And it might cost like $100, $150 or so. But if we just get some Lego base plates, then it is all standardized and it's all like perfectly manufactured. Definitely washable and very smooth. So there are a lot of pros for that. The problem is that they're studs. So the little things on top. Nipples are about half an ant length high, so it would be kind of a large step for them to get onto. The second thing is that with the 3D printing, we have complete say over how it's going to look like, how large and small and everything, and those studs are always the same height, so we would need to find some pieces, maybe that we can put on top that change the surface rugosity in some unified, meaningful way for the ants, so that it's kind of bumpy and not all too steppy. So this is why I am now looking at the catalog of Lego bricks, and of course there are a lot. This is one that I'm excited about. That is a 1x1 by 2/3 quadruple convex pyramid. So if it is what I think it is, then I can just stick how many would that be? Loads, thousands of these pyramids onto the studs, and then it would be like a very pyramidal surface for the ants. At least it would be uniform, and we could change the size of the pyramids if I also find a 2x2 pyramid. Maybe I'm going to have the opportunity to play with Lego again. For science! Turns out Lego might not be a feasible solution, at least to put pieces on top, because we would need a total of 12,288 pieces, or at least 8,000 or so pieces, and with just 1 cent or so per piece, which would be really cheap, that would still be $122. That would be okay. It is the next day, the next morning at almost 11, and wouldn't you know it, I am starting to learn how to use Blender, which is a very useful, very, very popular tool to do all kinds of stuff around 3D modeling and apparently also animation. That's what people like engineers also use a lot. And it is similar to Adobe Premiere Pro or Photoshop. That is a huge program and there's a lot to learn, a very steep learning curve. Even when you are an expert, you're still, maybe 80% of what this thing can do. And so it's been really fun to learn this other tool that I might be able to use in the future again. And I managed to create an object that is like a model. It is the 20 by 20 centimeters that I wanted it to be for efficient printing. I could reduce the complexity, like the number of triangles with this program, so now it is small enough so that my computer can handle it. So now I will go to uni again, to the Catalyst Studios, to try to 3D print maybe this one, and we'll see whether it works. Fingers crossed. There was, of course, another problem. That is, first, the model is too large for me to be slicing it in that software that makes the 3D model printable. Now I need to try to reduce the number of these polygons even more. So yeah, another day.
It's a motherfucking celebration. Hey, we should probably get the party started.
Oh, Scorpion! Yes! No way!
Yeah, I know the shortcut, rather take the long way. Hate when niggas skipping hella tracks, let the song play. Taking in the views, hit the dab while I'm looking at the moon. Got my parents and my youngin' on the four-way. Hey, Arizona, Sedona, Arizona, Sedona, Arizona, Sedona, Arizona, Sedona.
To the Vaulty Arch. It's very steep. Worth it though.
Arizona, Sedona, Arizona, Sedona, Arizona, Sedona.
Oh
Yeah.
In 10 minutes, I am going to be giving a talk here for a conference for this behaviorally distributed algorithms conference that is in Orlando, where I would be right now if the airline didn't cancel the flight basically last minute on the same day. And yeah, I did not want to spend another $500-600 to catch another flight. So yeah, this is why I'm going to be joining in remotely. Oh well, that saves me a lot of travel, the world a lot of CO2, and yeah, I can focus on more work. Random update out of my life. It is just after summer solstice, and I get up around 6 a.m., which is a little after sunrise. It's just beautiful. Still kind of fresh on the skin with like 22, 23 degrees or so in the shade. And I go outside, do some stretches, and I go to bed at 8:30 or so. So at sunset. Just kind of a beautiful cycle. I feel pretty awake during the day, even though I don't sleep that much. I sleep very well. And then I go inside and open my laptop at my improvised standing desk, because I want to spend the first 10 to 20 minutes working just standing up. So yeah, that's also a ritual that I'm following. As of yesterday, I got done with all of the other stuff with the first 3 chapters and also the surface rugosity, the 3D printing is now. It was really interesting to learn Blender, and I am now at the point where I'm also using the Python coding function within Blender to make the 3D models repeatedly. It has been a lot of fun to learn this. Yeah, so now I am ready to work on the 4th chapter again, or like the paper to that, and yeah, really go into this again with the collaborators, and that's what I'm full-time working on over the weekend, and let's see what happens with the 3D printing. This is what I'm going to be mainly doing this week, and then next week is going to be the last week before the defense, and this is when I will really just prepare for the presentation. Finishing up my defense talk, I heard a rustling at my door, and look at what it is. It's a Palo Verde beetle.
Did you pay dues? Are you grateful? What you been through? Was it painful? Did it break you? Sam Cooke, reincarnation. Ay, I should probably start a flower garden. Ay.